Immigration is the hot topic as President Trump stumps for candidates in several key primary elections today. I'm Hannah Doba with more on his rallying cry.
And in the Golden State, hundreds of homes and across the country are too close to comfort for dangerous wildfire areas. How to protect those houses and keep new homes from suffering the same fate? That's all coming up.
6:31, our top story this half hour. Voters in 6 states head to the polls today with a number of key primary elections on the ballot. President Trump was in South Carolina last night rallying for the state's Republican governor ahead of today's runoff election.
And the president hit a number of his usual talking points, but kept the debate about illegal immigration front and center. CBS's Hannah Doba has our details.
Henry was there at the beginning. He's a fighter. He's tough. He's strong.
President Trump put the full weight of his support behind South Carolina incumbent Governor Henry McMaster last night. The early supporter of candidate Trump is in a close runoff election with businessman John Warren for the GOP nomination for governor.
NAFTA's a disaster.
But the president covered a wide range of topics.
Did you see Jimmy Fallon?
And spent part of his rallying focused on illegal immigration, now a hot-button campaign issue around the country.
I said today, I don't want judges. I want ICE and Border Patrol agents. That's what I want.
Responding to failed attempts in Congress to pass an immigration bill, the president is now calling for illegal immigrants to be deported without due process.
The president is not a king who, by pronouncement or stroke of the pen, can eliminate their due process rights.
It appears, however, the president's zero-tolerance policy is on hold. Customs and Border Protection said they have stopped referring immigrant parents for criminal prosecution until federal agencies can agree on a plan to keep families together.
We'll provide whatever support the Department of Homeland Security needs in order to house the people that they have under their custody.
The Department of Defense announced that 2 military bases in Texas will be used to detain illegal immigrants, one for families, the other for unaccompanied children. Hannah Doba, CBS News.
Now, President Trump has lunch with members of Congress today at the White House. House Republicans hope to vote on an immigration bill sometime this week. Of course, more to follow on that.
Absolutely. 6:33 now on this Tuesday. Matt steps in to join us thanks to some clouds. Really nice temperatures out there this morning, huh?
Hey, can you tell that we've moved out of La Nina?
Oh, have we?
Yeah, no, I can't tell either, but but yes, that's okay. Part of the tease to our forecast for tomorrow. I'm putting that all together, and it's all playing a part in our current forecast as we're transitioning a little bit. Temperature's very mild this morning. We've had some showers in the area. It looks like those showers are moving out pretty quickly. Daytime highs into the 70s. Low 70s. It is going to be cooler for the afternoon. We certainly have clouds and spiders. There it is again. Temperatures into the 70s right now. We've got clearing skies for the time being. We do have warmer and cooler temperatures on the way. We'll talk about that, of course, coming up.
Thank you, Matt. 6:33 now in Missoula. 2 teens who were found shot Sunday evening at a high school are now out of surgery, expected to survive their ordeal. Missoula Police Captain Mike Coiler says a firearm was found on high school property Monday afternoon, a handgun that looked to be consistent with evidence from the scene. Missoula Police say the suspect has so far only been described as a man wearing red sweatpants. He also said that there is no danger to the public at this time. Investigators reportedly speaking with both the victims, but say that their current medical condition makes it difficult to communicate very well. The 2 teens were found shot on the campus of Sentinel High School around 6:30 p.m. on Sunday after witnesses reported hearing gunshots in the area. Names of the victims have not yet been released.
In the city of Bozeman, commissioners have set next year's budget. City manager Andrea Surratt recommended the city approve a $118 million budget. That would be about $12 million more than the previous year. The city wants to add around 13 city positions to keep up with population growth. And some other changes include saving money for an increase in city workers' minimum wage and providing funding for Haven to create a call line for sexual assault victims. Now, most commissioners were in agreement about the increase in expenses, except Commissioner Jeff Krause.
I'm not sure how I'm going to vote yet, but I'm juggling those 2 ideas that we didn't do any reprioritizing. I didn't see the taking out of one place and putting into the other place, and so I am not certain about about my vote.
Commissioners ended up agreeing on a budget that will raise taxes and fees within the city by about $6 a year for the typical homeowner. And that's about 0.6% increase at a time when city managers say Bozeman's inflation rate is 3%.
In other news, 1 in 8 western Montana homes built during the past decade are in high wildfire areas. That, according to a study recently released by Headwaters Economics, says the data shows a dangerous trend. MTN's Mallory Peebles has details of that study.
The same rural landscapes attracting many homeowners also pose a high risk. That's according to Headwater Economics. It recently completed a study based on U.S. Forest Service data for western Montana.
What we found is that we've doubled the number of homes in areas with high wildfire hazard since 1990.
For Gallatin County, that's about 2,300 homes. Much of these areas are called wildland-urban interface areas, among the fastest growing type of land use across the country.
These are places that are often very prone to wildfire. It doesn't mean that we can't grow in those places or live in these places. It just means that if we're going to, we should use safer building techniques and fuels management strategies to protect our property and our lives.
County fire program has also been combined with that.
Patrick Lonigan, Director for Emergency Management, Gallatin County, recommends homeowners consider reviewing public data or city requirements for building safely.
You may not have some of the requirements to do it, but it's oftentimes in people's best interest to design their property and their home to be resilient to the hazards they face.
2 simple tips include removing tall brush growth directly around the home and using shingles, which won't trap embers.
Probably the best way to look at it is how can you prevent embers being thrown from a wildfire from catching something on fire and catching your property or your house on fire.
Homes that don't attract a fire are more likely to withstand one. Reporting from Bozeman, Mallory Peebles, MTN News.
Now, Mallory tells us Headwaters Economics says $4 million is tacked onto Montana's firefighting cost liability each year because of new homes in wildfire hazard areas. For more information about protection of your home, we've included information from Gallatin County Emergency Services on our website.
Very helpful.
Absolutely.
And agriculture is Montana's top industry. And in the Treasure State's capital city, 2 guys are using their ag roots to distill a product from soil and some sunshine.
MTN's Mackenzie Frost takes us to Gulch Distillers for this week's Montana Made.
Montana is a beer-drinking state with new breweries popping up in every corner. But 2 guys in the capital city are trying to change the game.
Raising the awareness of cocktail culture in this town.
Gulch Distillers, a nod to the history of Helena, nestled in the heart of town. Stefan and Terrell, 2 friends who have a spirit for spirits.
Creating unique spirits that can work well in cocktails has always been very fun for me.
We're concentrating the character and the properties of those products into something beautiful and enjoyable.
They decided to open their own distillery. Gulch has many of the usual items on the menu: vodka, rum, even a new apple brandy.
And that's all apples grown in the bitter root.
Perhaps even a spirit you may have never tried, Fernet, an Italian-style liqueur.
Very commonly drank after dinner to settle your stomach down.
Fernet has 18 different botanicals in the recipe, and the Gulch guys are one of only 10 other distillers in the country to create this spirit. But there is one thing noticeably absent from the shelves: whiskey.
We've been making whiskey since day one, and we haven't released any yet because we want to do it right.
That's right. Behind the tasting room, whiskey is aging in barrels, just waiting to be served.
It's tasting delicious, but we'd like to give it a little bit more time.
Not only is the quality important, but also educating everyone about cocktail culture.
It's not difficult to have a good bar in your house. It doesn't have to be expensive, and you can make really nice things, and we like to show people how to do that.
Gulch currently has 35 different drinks on the menu, and the offerings change seasonally.
Sold out of it in 2 days.
When Stefan and Terrell aren't serving, teaching cocktail recipes, or running the still, they're working their full-time jobs. Terrell, a rancher.
I mean, it all starts from a raw agricultural product, a product of soil and sunshine.
Stefan, a web developer.
This truly is a passion project for both of us, and the only way that it really works is through that partnership.
Both born and raised in Montana with an appreciation for everything Montana made.
We love Montana. We wanted to kind of highlight the Montana-grown products and make alcohol out of them.
Juggling full-time jobs and distilling award-winning liquor, both agree the ingredients are just as important as the final taste. When you start with two guys who love Montana and you mix in a passion for distilling, you get a business that truly is Montana made. In Helena, Mackenzie Frost, MTN News.
Now, the Triple Divide Vodka, the most popular spirit the Gulch guys distill at the moment. You can find at least one product of theirs in almost any liquor store across Montana.
That's pretty cool.
Absolutely true.
Awesome.
Every Tuesday, we will bring you more Montana-made stories.
That's right.
Meantime, we're going to take a quick break. Here's a look at what's coming up right after that break.
Are you riding with the safest bike helmet on the market? I'm John Schuma with the results of a crash test that's never been done before.
Ahead on CBS This Morning, we'll take a closer look at a border shelter facility described as a strict and structured camp. How some teenagers separated from their parents spend their day. Plus, only on CBS This Morning, a conversation with 5 suicide attempt survivors. They'll give us insight into the minds of those wanting to take their own lives, how they got past it, and what they hope for the future. We'll see you 7 o'clock on the dot.